Hey guys, Itewan Semi, I'm back. Part 3 of The Trap. So, part 1 and part 2, we talked about Tim's background. Part 2, we talked about Steffi's background. And now we're going to talk about a little bit more about how Steffi got to where she is. So, as I talked about before in the last one, this is just what happens in South Asia, okay? So, again, I'm not going to judge, I'm not going to comment, I'm not going to brush it with broad strokes and say everybody does this, but this is what happens. And this is what happened in this case, okay? So, just let's leave it at that and go on with the story. So everybody in Steffi's family depended on her to eat, pay bills, go to school. Sorry, I'm just checking on my notes here because it's very detailed here. So she has 2 older brothers, 3 older sisters, 1 younger sister. So in her family is 7 kids, and she's one of the youngest. She's the second youngest. One brother has 2 small children on the island with a wife, and one brother is trying to find a job overseas, as you know, he wants to help the family too. 2 older sisters are on the island. One has a daughter that is 12 and a son that is 9. Father of the kids is vanished. And from what Tim is telling me, especially in the rural areas, it's not uncommon for the men to leave when the girl gets pregnant and blames her and says it's not his, and they don't have the resources or the financial ability or legal ability to do DNA and paternity testing and things like that. And one of the other sisters is married with 4 kids, and the husband is a fisherman and catches fish to sell at the market. So that's the family. It's huge, which is typical for a Filipino. Sorry, I don't want to say typical. Every Filipino I've ever met in Canada, I haven't been to the Philippines, but every Filipino I've ever met has very large families. It's just, again, I'm not saying anything. It's just that's what I've experienced. All right. So the third older sister. So one of the older sisters, let's call her M, lives with Steffi and works at a different bar as a waitress. So the guys just buy her drinks and that's it. She doesn't go home with anybody, because she has a Filipino boyfriend. His name is Junior. Well, let's call him Junior. He picks her up and drops her off every night, so he knows what's going on. She has 2 kids from her first marriage, because her husband died in a car accident. So her boyfriend and her have a daughter, and trauma. That daughter was murdered over some debt that he owed. That father of that daughter was murdered over some debt that he owed. And, oh geez. So the guy that was owed money, she decided to shack up with him. And he's looking for handouts too. And her daughters live with their grandparents back on the island. It's drama. So much drama. I've never seen so much drama in my life that I have with... I'm not going to go down that road. Let's just suffice it to say that even back in Canada, my South Asian friends that I knew, their lives were full of drama. I've talked about that before on a previous video, about one of my ex-wife's Filipino friends. The drama in that family. And they were living in Canada. There's no drama in my family. Never any hatred issues, never any theft, never any. Oh, it's just it. I don't understand it. How it happens in other families. Okay, I'm not gonna go in anymore. Anyway, so and then there's Steffi's youngest sister, C. She's in college, and Steffi's paying for her college room and board. College in Philippines is very cheap compared to the rest of the world. Let's say about $300 US dollars a semester, and an extra $200 to $300 for room and board. So, in the small town where Steffi is with her older sister M, with the boyfriend Junior and the other older brother Joe, they all live together trying to support the family back on the island. Steffi has to support the mother and everybody back at the island. Her sister M sends money to help her daughters and mother. The rest is used for herself and Junior. Junior is looking for a job but can't find one. Joe stays for a few days and leaves and goes to other places because he doesn't like to be troublesome. This is the other guy. So, this is the little family drama that they have in that little area, right? So, in the town where Steffi is, and also back home. So, it's like a soap opera. All right, so there is where Steffi's situation is. Now, again, I'm not going to say that this is the same everywhere, but I've heard this story 100 times in my 10 years here in Korea. I have seen it on my travels to Thailand. Okay, I've seen it. And I have YouTube friends who I follow as well, who live in Thailand, because that's where I plan on retiring. Is that they tell these stories of men who fall in love with bar girls and then just lose their minds over it, you know. And I'm gonna say this again, and nobody's gonna listen. You can take the girl out of the bar, but you can never take the bar out of the girl. Maybe I'll tell a story of myself. I dated an exotic dancer in Toronto in my 20s. And I was stupid and naive, thinking I could change that girl by helping her. Huge, expensive mistake. Which is why I laugh at this. And I mean, I'm sorry that I'm laughing at it, but it's not laugh. It's like, we all know. We all know. But we still don't listen. And here's where the story gets interesting, is that Tim is not naive. He's the one who was telling me previously, be careful in Thailand. Have you ever been before? Be careful there about the girls. Don't fall in love with the girls. And things like that. He's the one telling me. So, you can see where this story is going. And I'm going to wrap it up by saying it's 2017. Tim's in Subic Bay in the Philippines. He's an avid scuba diver, so he's working in a small town near Subic Bay by the ocean. And he can retire there and scuba dive as much as he wants. He's working. He's at the bar at one of the resorts there. It's a small town outside of Angeles in Subic Bay. And he sees this girl. First time he sees her, because he's been there for a while. This is 2017. And he sees her for the first time. He calls her over. They have a couple of drinks. And this is where Steffi and Tim meet for the first time. 2017 in Subic Bay. Where's the story going? Stay tuned for part 5. Is this part 3 or part 4? This is part 3. So part 4 is the story of Steffi and Tim and the trap. Comment, like, subscribe. Itaewon Sammy, living life. I'm out.